Forum SANEF has expressed concern over the EFF's refusal to meet with it to discuss the party's threats against and intimidation of journalists. SANEF requested a meeting with party leader Julius Malema following his call to supporters to deal decisively with journalists. Malema also mentioned some journalists by name while addressing a crowd outside the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture hearings in Parktown during Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan's testimony last week. The EFF says it is not shying away from meeting with SANEF. It is just because the party is busy.
No single member of the EFF, in the name of the EFF, is going to beat up anyone, let alone journalists. So the EFF was very clear through the Commander-in-Chief, even on the day, that when we're saying these things, in fact, on that day, he didn't stop at political rhetoric. He explained what the political rhetoric and the words that he uses actually mean. And he, in categorical terms, said, I mean an intellectual shutdown of these people. But now I want us to think deeply about whether these people are journalists or not, in two ways. One, majority of them are no longer doing stories. They're no longer on the ground doing balanced stories. They are standing columnists who write opinion pieces. They've got special columns on the Sunday Times, and they write opinions, not stories. They campaign.
But surely they can do both.
They are not doing. I'm saying they've not done that. They've not been journalists forever. They were journalists.
Let's take Ranjani Munisamy, for example. She spends every day at the Zondo Commission. She writes about what has happened. She obviously also writes columns, but she also writes factual pieces of what she's covering.
Majority of what goes, and that's why those things are in the opinion pieces. They are not in the news. Because even if she's organizing facts, she's organizing them and marshalling them for an opinion, for an argument, to persuade society to think in a specific way. That's what I do in my everyday life. I organize facts to persuade society to think in a specific way. And then who comes in their defense? The South African National Editors Forum. Those are the bosses. Those are the editors. Those are not the ground journalists.
You have refused to meet with them. I mean, surely...
No. I want to finish this point before the question of meeting them. They are the bosses. They are the people when a journalist comes and says, here is my story. They decide which part of the paper it will go, what frame it will take. They even decide the headline of both the paper and what goes to the street. So there's a whole lot of people that we spend everyday time with. Those journalists, for instance, that were there in Pretoria, those are the ground forces of journalism in this country. Nobody speaks for them. We've not refused to meet SANEF. We've met them before. We don't have time now. We'll meet them after elections.